and watch me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the
Um,
All right. We are? Sounds good.
oh, we're live.
Well,
Hello, everyone.
yeah. Gets to you do the talking.
Yeah, all right. I'll do the talking. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Project Luna R6 match between Wildcard Queens and Kitten Queens. We're gonna be playing on Border today. I'm Gedster. Joining me is Akira. How you doing today?
I'm doing fairly well today. Very excited about these games going on. We've got 3 exciting games to play today. Wildcard Queens against Kitten Queens, followed by Strike X against Wildcard Queens, and to finish it out, A7 Girls versus Wildcard Queens.
Fire. I'm very excited for this one. See, I personally have not had a lot of chances to cover Rainbow Six Siege in the past. I've literally only ever casted this game once, but I've always loved watching this game, and I'm very excited to get into this with you.
Yeah, I mean, me for my part, this is my first casting experience and I suppose a debut. I've only been a player so far, so we'll see how it goes.
You're gonna do great. I mean, you told me earlier you've been playing this game for a really long time, so you know what's up. You know what's happening around these parts. Whereas
Yeah,
I just kind of yell sometimes.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to get the attention.
So you know what's up. All right, it's gonna be like we said earlier. Wildcard Queens versus Kitten Queens is gonna be our first matchup here. Mostly American squad over for Kitten Queens, but Wildcard Queens is going to be mostly European squad here. So I'm honestly not sure what servers we're playing on. I think we're on EU, but not 100% sure. NA, excuse me. Thank you
Yeah,
for the correction, production.
yeah.
A a classic. It's been around for a very long time.
Oh, apparently, we just got the information from production that we are going to switch servers. So give
Okay.
us a quick second for that, because apparently we got set on the wrong server.
Oh no! Just that's really funny. I'm not gonna lie, that's very funny. But either way, we'll be back into this one shortly. Kira, I'm curious. Who do you play primarily in this game?
Like operator wise, who do I main?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of not maining operators. I think you should be versatile with who you play, you know?
Very true. Very
But
true.
if I were to go by my most played operators, now that I can actually go into the career tab inside the game of Rainbow Six Siege,
Excellent.
I can tell you that my most played operators are Twitch and Warden, both by
Mm.
over 100 rounds to the second place,
Oh my.
with Twitch being 550 rounds over Ace being 380 rounds, and then
Very nice.
Warden with 560 with 460 rounds over Jaeger with 550. So
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mostly find myself playing Castle. I think that character is a lot of fun on defense, and then Sledge on offense. Something about the
sounds good.
simplicity. Something about the
Yeah,
simplicity of just having a hammer.
that's valid.
Big fan. Big fan of uh the server on the new uh the new server. What am I talking about here? The match on the new server. So bear with us for just a moment here. We're still getting the players back into the lobby, but yeah, do we have like a match history for these teams? Because I am curious to know how these teams have been doing previously.
I'm
Complete matches.
unsure.
I'm looking through the OPL pages right now.
I do think currently Wildcard Queens is the #1 team in this tournament.
That would make sense, I suppose. I think now's a decent time to bring up the changes that came about coming into Siege X, particularly some of the environmental sort of things. You know, the pipes exploding, the fire extinguishers just being shot, turning into those like sort of smokes, just visual obfuscation every now and then. I think it's pretty cool stuff. Helps out a lot with making maps feel even more interactive than they already did, which I think was already a big draw of Rainbow Six Siege upon like its initial iteration, but now that's just been amplified to a whole nother level, and I'm excited to see. I mean, going forward, we've already seen a lot of it in Pro League across all of the like tier 1 regions, but I'm excited to see how other teams down here in Project Luna will be able to adapt to that as well.
I agree personally. I think it really boosts the immersion of Siege. I've been waiting for more map interactiveness for a long, long time, and I personally am very excited to see the future of Siege with these interactive items scattered across every map.
Yeah, true. Not the only thing Siege X has changed, though. We do have a new ban system as well in place. Obviously, the old system only banning out 4 characters in a given map, but now we're up to 6, potentially 12 when the sides swap as well. So it's going to be real interesting to see going forward, especially with the much larger cast than what Rainbow Six used to have. So
Yeah, I mean, looking back just a few years ago, you barely had like a few rows of operators. You barely had 2 rows of operators, let's say. But,
looks like we are finally going to be getting into the game here now. Very excited to see how this one goes. Once again, y'all, we are going to be on border. It is going to be Wildcard Queens defending first. Jason Valkyrie. Okay, I'm gonna guess Monty. Oh my god.
Okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa! You might be a magician. Hold on a minute. That was crazy.
All right, there we go. For the second bans, I'm unsure. I think we might see something like a Grim. I'm unsure of defense though. Maybe a
Monty
Goyo or
Azami.
Maestro.
Monty Azami. I did not.
Blackbeard
Well, I
as
got
well.
Azami right. I got Azami right. I'll take it. I can't believe you predicted those first bans. That was crazy.
It just seemed like the most plausible. They're both very strong operators on this map.
That's very true. That's very true.
Gonna see the Dokkaebi, Grim brought out, so high intel game here from Kitten Queens.
Mm-hmm. But the defenders here going with a fair bit of denial. We're seeing both the smoke for the area denial with those smokes, and obviously the Kaid for the electrified walls, just to make it a little bit harder to hard breach, get in onto the site for Kitten Queens. But we do
Attackers have
see
located a
the
bomb.
twitch coming out from Trippy Mells on Kitten Queens, so I would not at all be surprised. Never mind, that's a Brava now. That's why I don't
That's
like
a
talking about
Brava.
attack operators too early.
I think the Brava is going to be a strong counter for the Melusi of Cass. I think that's the thought
10
process
seconds
in that.
left.
But we do see the Twitch though. Swap that for the Doke could be interesting decision there. We'll see how this round plays out.
There's a lot of right now. Goes going forward. Kato also on this Capitao here has a lot of options, so gonna be very interesting going forward to see how this goes.
This looks to me like an office take, kind of. It looks to me like a split CC to office take, with them kind of cornering in the map. Capitao on the east back there, getting taken out by mine instantly, and that's the first pick of the round.
Yeah, but it gets traded
They're
out
getting a
pretty
refrag.
quickly. Yeah, refrag gonna come through there. So a Doc and a Capitao out of the equation now. Calvi goes down with the
That's
diffuser.
just a hard breach out of the game. A lot of value lost for Kitten Queens here. Not even a half a minute into the round.
Reloading.
Yeah, the roaming from Wildcard Queens so far has been pretty phenomenal. Just able to find those 2 kills rather early. Again, as you say, the hard breach is out of the equation now. There's no hard breach capability at all on Kitten Queens. No secondaries, even like as a backup option. So now it just comes down to
Funneling
getting
through
into
doors.
these sites. Yeah, exactly. Funneling through these small choke points.
And
Obviously,
especially
the-
with Wildcard Queen still having the Goyo, the Smoke, and the Melusi up to...
Ooh,
well, no longer the Smoke, but the Grim is down as well.
3v2, make it a 2v2. Good shots from Trippy Mells. Just like that.
Especially the Melusi fighting. This is a very uncomfortable situation.
It's an uncomfortable 1v1,
finds
but
Cass, with Secret now being the last alive, off-site. Trippy
A
and
1v2?
Adri both have site control, getting down the diffuser in a very favorable spot to them.
Plane's going down. 45 seconds remaining now. Secret has to be super careful about how they approach this, but it's very difficult post-plant positions to break in this instance. But I mean, you're just so far away. If you're Secret, and you've been spotted out by that bulletproof camera, they know exactly where you are at this point. It's gonna be not easy at all to approach.
Oh, goodness.
Has to clear so much utility. And they have to know exactly where Secret is. 14 seconds left, still 2 kills to get. This would have to be pretty miraculous. Can't find the
C4
first
coming
pick.
out, not hitting
Doesn't
anything,
quite
though.
connect.
And the first round goes to Kitten Queens. What a comeback.
Yeah, that was beautiful stuff.
Losing the entry frag and going into a 3v4 situation off rip and turning it around to a 2v2 into a 2v1.
And I mean, like you pointed out, they lost out on their one and only method of hard breach super early into that round, but they were able to bring it back regardless. So really, really well played to Kitten Queens there.
Yeah, that was a very good read on the fact that the Kaid and the Melusi were so separated that they could take out the Melusi and get a free
Attackers
plant off
need
to win the
locate and
round.
defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, absolutely massive stuff for sure. Now, obviously, they have the lead going into this one, but Wildcard Queens don't see a reason to swap to a different site here. In fact, we're going to be seeing a somewhat similar composition here, still having the Dock, still having the Smoke, a little bit of a swap here over to the Bandit rather than the Kaid, still on this wall denial operator, but I don't know. I think I feel I see Bandit a lot less than I see Kaid these days.
Bandit
10 seconds
is
left.
just a highly situational operator compared to Kaid, with his shock charges being able to be destroyed so easily, while you can trick around a lot more with Kaid's.
Indeed.
Really finds that well-placed camp.
It's a nice drone spot, but if you know to look for them, then unfortunately they will fall pretty quickly.
We do see the single heart breach again. We have a gridlock on the map this time around, so this looks to me like a similar attempt at an Office Archives execute with the Twitch for the denial, or for the denial rather said,
Indeed.
and the Brava yet again with, I assume, Kitten Queen's thinking that Wildcard brought another Melusi or a Goyo.
Ooh,
That is the
kinda goes
gridlock
down
taken
first, so
out. That is
gridlock
yet again
out of
another
picture.
entry frag for mine.
Yeah, I mean it's been really solid stuff from this doc so far. Just really, really well done on the roam. But standard stuff coming out here.
Drone spinning up.
Just droning in here. I think this Twitch is going to be one of the most important parts of the attack. If they can manage to get rid of some of those bandit batteries, then that would be phenomenal. But currently out of those shock drones, so might not be a particularly easy thing.
Got one hive ready.
We also still, oh, that is a dock
There's
gone
the dock
off
shut
the map.
down.
Yeah,
Tried to
off
step
the map.
outside. I think tried to step outside to get a cheeky little kill there, but is very quickly shut down. Nitro cell goes up, does not find anything in this instance.
We do see the smoke having used all his canisters already. That's the win
Lot of-
condition, unfortunately gone. Now with smoke being taken out as well by the thermite. They do have the office control here.
There's a
Okay, still the
whole
bandit
lot of
down.
denial. A whole lot of space denial gone with the smoke out of the picture, unfortunately, for Wildcard Queens, but the Kitten Queens just seem to be taking that momentum all the way to the bank right now. Trippy Mel's finding two on the approach. Adrela goes down, but it's just Cassiopeia right now.
And
he
she gets taken out
tries-
as
She
well.
tries.
What a
I
what a
mean-
play from Trippy there.
Yeah, I mean, really, really well played that whole time around. Kitten Queen so far playing this attack extremely well, and it looks like they're finally going to be swapping up the site choice here. We're going to be going down to bathroom tellers.
Interesting site swap. We're gonna see the Ella come out. So I assume Bully is going to take up a more aggressive
Attackers need to
route
locate and
this,
defuse as
this
many
round,
bombs
or
as
this
they
round.
can.
A Jaeger too. Okay.
Jaeger, the Fenrir. So they're assuming a rush, probably, for the bathroom window with those kind of defenses. Going to see an extend as well into workshop, very basic work. We see the Ash, the Ram, the Striker. This seems to me like a very stereotypical vert take. Getting the floor open, getting the hatches, flank watch with the gridlock.
And again, we see the Twitch coming out from Adriella, so it wouldn't entirely shock me if we just don't see a whole lot of value come from this Goyo, right? These Goyo canisters just gonna be taken out very quickly. Potentially same with the Fenrir. And they know where the bomb sites are for sure, so
I think they know
have a very-
about the vertical setup though, if they're playing up top or not.
yeah, well, that's what these drones are for, but a couple bullets fly, and suddenly they have a little bit of a
I
hint.
do know about the Fenrir playing top
Yup.
east now. Fenrir
At
here
very
in
least
power
knows what
position,
this one's
falling off into office though. And there's already a Goyo canister gone.
Yep.
The Twitch putting in the work.
Twitch does so well at denying this value. It would not at all shock me if we saw Wildcard end up banning out the Twitch in another couple rounds here. But mine, once again, with an opening pick.
Yeah.
She's been
Let's
so
see if she
consistent
stays
with
consistent
these.
throughout this round. Because mine has also been the refrag every single round after her opening pick.
Very true. But this time around, no immediate refrag. continues to stay alive here. A 5v4 going down below 90 seconds. Continuing to prowl throughout this first floor here. Is this
Seems
mute?
to me that Kitten Queens is having trouble moving forward currently. We're seeing a lot of stalling. Oh.
I mean, that was scary. There was nearly an interaction there. Gunfight very well could have happened, and this Ram's taking a lot of damage. Turler has the
Paula's on an
fuser.
angle that Turler's not going to expect. This might be a pick for the mute.
Very possible, but I mean, everybody's got to be playing careful right now. But mine eventually does go down. The refrag comes out, but it took a long while for it to happen. Kato
And
and
immediately
Louis
refragged
both
by
down.
Trippy, who picks up the diffuser
Oh.
into a 3v1 situation with Cass
Going
upstairs.
fast. 1v3.
This is going to be a very hard retake. And she drops the hatch. Does not find the Twitch there. Wow. Kitten Queens is playing this
I mean,
amazingly.
Yeah, they're doing
I
super
was a
well
bit-
at this. I mean, that round
I was a
just
bit worried at the
a
90 to
perfect
80 second
approach.
of them stalling for a short while, but they caught their wind again and managed to find out the frags. I assume we're gonna see a Twitch ban here now. Probably.
Yeah,
A bravo.
yeah, would
Wow.
not shock me at all.
Yeah, and we see the
The
Goyo ban.
Goyo ban.
That does make a lot of sense. And we're going to see the Twitch yet again. Twitch has been Adriella's favorite pick.
And it's working very
Attackers
well
need to
so
locate
far,
and
so I
defuse
do not
bomb.
blame it at all. Once again, we're tied this time, so little bit of a similar composition to what we've seen in earlier rounds, but here, once again, we're going back to the second floor defense. I don't know, I think it was really interesting how we saw essentially just ignore the entirety of the upstairs, just allow the Fenrir to exist up there and just execute on the bottom floor that whole time in that last round. But you can't ignore the bottom, you can't ignore the top floor if they're up on the top floor. So Wildcard Queens returns.
We have seen two very exciting rounds so far on the top floor with great storylines in my opinion so far. So I hope that this round is going to be just as exciting. We're going to see the first shield pick of the game as well. We're going to see a Monty on the side of Kitten Queens on Turler, and they decided not to bring a dedicated heart breach, but rather two sets of heart breach charges on the Monty and the recruit respectively.
An interesting approach, definitely one that I think is it's cool to have after so many years of Rainbow Six just like having a couple of dedicated hard breach operators. I'm happy that they eventually added in this hard breach secondary utility that a couple of operators get on the attack. I think that was a very interesting addition that I'm glad we have in Siege now. We've had that for a couple of years, I believe.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it was introduced during year 5. No, it was year 4. I think it was towards the end of year 4 with this season that Zero
Was
came
it,
out
was it
with.
Was it actually year 4? I did
I'm-
not
I might
realize it was
be-
that
I
long
might
ago.
be mischievous here and blatantly lying unknowingly, but I think it was year 4 or towards the start of year 5.
Man, my timeline is just completely wrong.
And we're
then.
going to see the first entry pick of this entire game for Kitten Queens from the Twitch with another pick from the Twitch onto the smoke. That is there's a lot of value on for Wildcard Queens here, with Mind finding a pick onto the recruit and onto the Dokkaebi, evening it out to a 3v3 with a minute 10 left.
They got their get back. Mine got the get back. A double from a couple of players coming out here, and now this is the fastest round we've seen yet. 1 versus 2.
And there was nothing
And make
Paula could
it-
do.
Oh, just shut down in the blink of an eye. Kitten Queens are running on right now. 4-0 going into round 5.
Interesting. And we see a timeout come in. That was very much needed, I think. After 4 straight losses, Wildcard Queens needs to really recollect themselves to not make this an 0-6 and lose this game so fast.
Oh
If
yeah.
they can come back from this could be an exciting game.
I mean, this would be an extremely impressive comeback at this point. Down 0-4. Yeah, just losing 3 more rounds and you're gone like completely. You don't get to see that much of the attack in that instance. You don't get to show off that half of your gameplay. But Wildcard, obviously, I think this timeout could have even come around earlier because this team just looks a little bit lost right now.
Yeah, I agree. This does not look like the Wildcard Queens that I know and I'm familiar with. They seem very uncoordinated on border.
At the very
They're letting themselves get picked off, let themselves get 2 picked off, like Kato and Adriella did last round, where either of those got 2 picks very quickly in quick succession. We're going to
they
see
feel
yet again
very
another Twitch, another gridlock.
I don't know. Wildcard seems very disjointed as it stands here. There's a couple players, particularly mine, who consistently is getting these early picks in these rounds. If not an opening kill, then a double kill immediately after the first interaction. But outside of that, Kitten Queens has just looked pretty phenomenal, particularly Trippy Mel's and Adriella. Adriella, with mostly this Twitch throughout the entirety of this game so far, looking phenomenal on this operator. Just hitting every shot imaginable. These Twitch drones are putting in a whole lot of utility denial work. It's been great stuff here, and we're seeing another unconventional pick with Cassiopeia on the Frost here, not someone you see super often.
This is an interesting pick. But you never know. There's a lot of situations where Frost has value if you're unsuspecting of the enemy team having one or not watching your step.
Indeed. I'm a big Frost fan personally.
I can vouch for that. I fairly enjoy her gun.
I like her gun a lot. I'm a big fan.
Oh, and we almost see a wallbang coming out by Turler onto Cassiopeia
close.
there.
Close.
That was almost scary to watch. But as it stands, Turler has yet to find a pick. She's putting a lot of pressure, holding this cut onto Cass and Impala. Both of them playing top gun. And Adriella gets picked off. That is the Twitch gone.
Twitch out of the picture now. But Dokkaebi, Logic Bomb is activated here. Hang up your phones, y'all. Quiet during the show.
We do see Cavi on the recruit outside the breach, locking down these angles, trying to find a pick onto the Cassie with low HP, and that is Impala and Cassie both taken out.
Wildcard
That
with an
was
opening
done
pick.
swiftly.
Wildcard with an opening pick, but they're not able to capitalize on it immediately, losing out on the next couple gunfights. Cassiopeia and Impala, as you say, going down, and now it's down to the Maluzi, the Jaeger, and the Smoke.
Yeah. It's yet another unfavorable situation for Wildcard Queens, with this being a 4v3 situation. Turler is on low HP from the looks of it, sub 50 HP, but with the head being up, you know, you still got the gun.
It's always a possibility here.
You can see Queen slowly approaching towards their execute with 55 seconds left in the round at this point. And Diffuser in hand on the gridlock. They're going to try their best. The Smoke still has 2 of his gas canisters. But with the Smoke being nowhere near sight, this seems like an easy plan for Kitten Queens.
I mean, they use the Logic Bomb, and they know that nobody's nearby immediately on the point here, so they can just safely get the plant down. Diffuser is down.
And that is
And now Cavi with another pick onto mine. Secret and Bully with a 2v4 to overcome. And it's going to be very difficult to get in on this one, but
Bully
very
taken
capable.
out. It's just
Secret.
and that is gone. Wow, what a great round by Kitten Queens. Systematically taking out the top floor, taking control of the entire bomb site vertically, and going for that strong execute in Vins that is almost impossible to contest. Is
I
this
mean,
going
this is
to
just
be an 0-6 split that we're going to see here on the first game?
It's very possible. I mean, Wildcard Queens, we know they're capable of taking a round here. So I wouldn't be shocked if they managed to do it, but I
Attackers
mean,
need
we're
to locate and
seeing
defuse as many
completely
bombs
new
as they
characters.
can.
We're seeing 3 characters we haven't seen at all yet in this half from coming out from
Bomb
Wildcard
located by
here.
attackers.
Mine on the Rooney, we see the Cassiopeia Castle and the Impala Vigil. This feels like desperation.
I agree. Seems like an interesting round. That we're gonna see here. We got the Fenrir out, we got the Aruni pick out, and we have basically
10
the same
seconds remaining.
setup as for the past few rounds from Kitten Queen coming out. The Dokubi, the Gridlock, the Recruit, the Twitch, and the Ash this time around. Trippy seeming to be a big fan of the R4C here, which I can understand. I can get behind that. I love the R4C.
Definitely with that one.
Now, as we're going into this round, I'm gonna see the Vigil trying to get a spawn pick off the round. Falling back though.
Yeah, I don't want to risk dying super early here. Especially with the Ash here. Obviously, Ash, one of those characters who known for being a character that enables a very, very aggressive play style historically in Siege.
Yeah.
Just Ash Rush being one of those things that when the game first came out was a big deal, but the Vigil able to punish the aggression there from Trippy Mel's Impala with a very, very nice opening frag.
Yeah. And this is now an opening pick yet again for Wildcard Queens. They've
Big stuff from
gotten
them.
5 out of the 6 opening frags, I'm pretty sure, out of these 6 rounds so far. Which I think is good stuff, but it unfortunately doesn't mirror in their round wins.
Yeah, it's been a very unfortunate. As you say, they have been able to get these opening picks a lot, but they immediately start losing gunfights after that happens. Bully goes down. Just in this instance, no more Ella to speak of.
She does take
Javi.
off a good amount of HP off the Recruit, but the Recruit
Mhm.
now seemingly being on about 10 HP. But Kitten Queen's now having full control of the top floor.
And the
And
gridlock.
Wildcard's starting to bunkering down. The Vigil is still on the roam over in storage though.
This gridlock is doing such a phenomenal job of just locking away rotational options from Wildcard Queens. It just seems like it's a very difficult attack to get in, but Kitten Queens are doing a great job of it. Wildcard having a very difficult time shutting anything down, and I think they have an idea that Impala is still over in the same general area where she was when Trippy fell earlier, so they have to keep that in mind.
Getting a tag onto Mine. Mine now being called. Cavi is going to swing that, but loses the gunfight to Mine. How unfortunate.
I mean, when you're that low health, just a couple shots from the DMR is going to do it. And just like that, does get traded out. Adriella taking him out of the picture. Adriella, she's still going in, gets very aggressive on that jump through the window. It's down to a 2 versus 2, 2 versus 1, all on Turler's shoulders. Can they get it done? In a 1 versus 1, the plant is going down. Will it be shut down? It looks like it.
No.
Looks like it will. Okay.
And Wildcard takes their first round with a 5-1 split for Kitten Queens. I personally would not have ever seen this coming. I would have seen at least a 4-2 for Wildcard, but
yeah, I was definitely not expecting this one, just based off of organization, name recognition alone, but Wildcard Queens struggling in the first half here. Let's hope that their attack is a lot better, and right off the bat, we're seeing an Azami and a Dokubi ban. Both of these make sense. These operators are very strong.
extremely strong, yes. I wonder if we're going to see a hard breach ban this time around. But I don't know. I think I doubt it. I think Kitten Queens is content with having a hard breach open.
I think
We're going to see a
Yeah.
Ram and a Kaid ban.
interesting. I think Ram ban makes sense if you're planning to play a lot on the first floor, because if you're on the second floor, then like there's no reason to ever be using a Ram if they're defending second floor. But first floor, this is
Mhm.
gonna be an interesting look for them. So where are they
Right.
starting exactly? Okay,
Attackers
so
need
we're
to
on
locate
second
and
floor to
defuse as many
start.
bombs as they can.
Do see the Valkyrie coming out, with the Valkyrie not being banned, and I assume we're going to see her played a lot throughout this half of the match, unless she's of course banned after the third round. Do you see the
Assuming
new
we
ban
get to the third
system?
round. Assuming we get to the third round, of course.
Of course, yeah. This could also end within 2 rounds.
It's
You
very
never know.
possible.
This could be a 7-1. We see the dog coming out on Trippy. Trippy is putting in the work this game. Same for Adrielle. Adrielle yet again on a DMR, as she has been on the Twitch again as well. She seems to be a big fan of those.
I mean, if you're hitting shots like that, then I can't blame you for being a fan. But it looks like
Yeah.
Turler's going for these
I agree.
early spawn peaks here. Just trying to find something out of here. It's very, very possible on this angle. You just gotta be patient.
We do see the Zero coming out, which is very exciting. Zero does not get a lot of play
Big fan.
in these games.
Big fan of Sam Fisher. You ever play Splinter Cell?
I actually have not. Personally. I'm not
Ooh.
big on story games. And we're
Really?
going to see mine get yet another opening pick. Wow.
Another one. This time on the attack. I mean, that's just a great peek through the window there. Just able to find that one very quickly. And nearly finds another just then. Just giving a little bit of vision there. Just allowing for the Zero to push up a little bit further. Now, just trying to find more angles here, but I don't know, this composition is very good at what it does. Obviously, we are seeing Secret on the
I see it.
Twitch and Bully on the IQ, another one of my personal favorite agents in this game. Operators, excuse me.
Agents.
Listen, man,
Somebody's been playing a bit
listen,
of
I
Valorant.
cast too many games.
Going to see the Zero now trying to place some cameras into sight. Earn and Biaruni taking a peek onto those stairs, fighting that Valkyrie. Unsuccessfully though. Going to see the drop from the small box hatch down. This might be a strong flank up the east side. And we're going to see Bully be taken out
44.
by the mute. There's the IQ out. Zero cam on the east stairs. Some damage onto the mine as well.
Nearly loses that out and eventually does. Down to a 3v3 with 45 seconds remaining in the round, and it just becomes a whole lot more difficult to approach without operators like the IQ, like the Zero, who give so much intel on just where everybody could potentially be and where that utility is going to be found. Flash goes in, and Adrielle is going to be the next to fall. 2 versus 1 now.
And a trade from Cassie. We're going to see the flank from the Mutant that dropped the small box hatch earlier. Let's see what Kato can do here.
Impala does pick up the diffuser.
Does she know?
So they
She does
do
find the
Really
Twitch.
have it. No idea.
The
1v1.
C4
Kato.
misses, and she gets taken out by Impala.
Nice.
How unfortunate. But what a great round there.
Good swing.
From
That was a
Wildcard. Well executed. I think took their time. It was close at the end, but that unfortunate C4 miss and Impala swinging out to find Kato there on the mute solidified it for the second round that Wildcard Queens is going to take in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Our wonderful observer, Lucy Goosey, pointed something out to us just now that I think is worth bringing up. At the
Defenders,
half
protect
swap,
your bombs from being defused
Wildcard
by
Queens
attackers.
had 15 kills, Kitty Queens had 29. Like, we are talking nearly double right now. Kitten Queens is playing kind of out of their minds as it stands. But obviously in that last round, 4-5, so we are now up 20-33 in terms of the current kill count. So Wildcard Queen's definitely able to catch up a little bit there. And as it turns out, that last round win on defense might end up mattering a whole lot for them, because now they have a little bit more room to breathe here. It's very possible that they're able to bring this one all the way back.
We've seen 0-6 comebacks in Pro League before, so we could see a 5-1 comeback here. We're going to see an early spawn pick from Adriel taken out by Mine though, instantaneously. With yet again another opening pick from Mine in this game. This has to be, I think, the 6th opening pick out of these 8 rounds.
I think so, yes. If not, it's something very close to that number, but either way, it's been very consistent picks from Mine over and over again. The same angle as last round too. Navi falling super early, and just like that, this round has been opened up for Wildcard Queens.
And it seems grim already for Kitten Queens, with this now being a 5v3 situation with 2 minutes left in the round. Wildcard Queens has everything in their power to do to open up the site and take this space against Kit Queens to make this a 5-3 scoreline.
Changing max.
And we're going to see
5-2 now. Cassiopeia finding Taylor. It definitely looks like Wildcard Queens is more comfortable on the attacking side here. It's just Trippy Mel's and Kato in a 2 versus 5.
Trippy does find a pick onto Mine.
Right. They're able to start earning that one back a little bit, shutting down the top frag from Wildcard Queens, but you still got 4 players to look through.
And another pick onto Secret
Okay.
Kato.
Reloaded.
Kato's going wild right now. And now, plants going down here. But it doesn't matter. They don't need it. Wildcard Queens doing phenomenal stuff.
That is yet another attacking round for them. Incredible work here. And we're going to see the 3rd attacking round, I assume now. This might be a comeback. We're on 5-3 now. Now everything is open. They have a lot more breathing room on the side of Wildcard, letting them play a lot more comfortably.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
3-5 now, looking significantly more even than it was before. We are going once again to Bathroom Tellers. This is one of the only other sites we've seen. We've seen a whole lot of upstairs holds, so.
I'm excited on what Kitten Queen does down here. From the looks of it, Wildcard Queens is going for a very, very gun-heavy operator lineup here, with the Finka, the Ash, and the Zofia being out, all being very strong fragging operators. Oh, never mind. I guess I'm just gonna swallow my words. We see the Glass and the Buck come out.
I don't see Glass
This might
often
be
at all.
Oh, with this being a bathroom site, you never know. They might be going for a rush plant.
It's very possible.
Razor wire ready.
I mean, the other day I was playing ranked with some friends of mine, and I was having to deal with a Glass player on bank, and it was very annoying. Looks like we do have an unfortunate disconnect from the side of Kitten Queens here. I do wonder if they're going to end up playing this one out. It looks like they will. Yeah. Hopefully we can get that resolved pretty quickly.
Really taking some damage though from an early peak.
Ooh.
Oh, that is unfortunate timing. But gets picked off again.
Yet another.
Reload.
It's going to be 4 versus 3 now. Both players, well, both teams down a player, technically, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
And now
We do have the edge. We do have Adriella up still on the vigil with the boss. She bringing a lot of fragging value. But there goes Kato. That is the smoke.
And I would like to point out, after struggling this whole time, that was Secret's first kill of the game. Congratulations.
Wow. Incredible.
Wildcard.
I do see Trippy now in a 1v4 situation. Not impossible though. Trippy is the star fragger of this game currently with a scoreline of 9-4.
Oh, it's definitely not impossible. It's just a matter of being able to find and locate all of these enemy operators. And you found one. Mine goes down, but now you're in a 1 versus 3 with the diffuser down. You're on a very, very short timer. Choosing to take a different angle. You know that it's in bathroom because you were hiding tellers.
Yeah.
But
And we
eventually,
do see
Secret.
the upside down pixel from Secret onto the Frost.
And yeah, I mean, and despite winning out that round, we are going to get a pause so that we can get that player back in here. Well, not despite winning that round. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? We aren't going to be getting a ban quite yet. I like to lie on broadcasts sometimes for fun.
Yeah, I
It is
go and
quite
lie
fun.
on record a lot. No worries.
But yeah, I mean, this has been really impressive stuff from Wildcard Queens on the attack half so far here on Border. We've gone from a relatively uneven 1 to 5 scoreline all the way back to a 4-5. Like, this has been beautiful stuff from Wildcard Queens so far.
Yeah. With how Wildcard Queens is performing, this is very similar to the performance Kitten Queens was putting up. So from the looks of it, both of these teams are in fact attacking teams.
Mm.
Now the game is not over yet, of course, or not looking too great for Wildcard Queens with them being a round behind Kitten Queens.
Mhm.
But we will see now in round 10 if this evens out to a 5-5, and we do see that overtime maybe, or if this is getting closed out in the next 2 rounds and Kitten Queens during this short technical pause manages to regain themselves, I suppose. And
I mean, it's very
as
possible.
people might say, lock in.
Lock in right now. It's very possible that this could go just absolutely the distance. So it would genuinely not shock me in the slightest if this goes all the way, because both of these teams seem to be extremely proficient on the attacking half. It's just a matter of, can one of these teams like manage to take a defensive round in the near future, because I think one defensive round might be enough to completely flip the script. I mean, that's what we saw on the previous half, right? Wildcard Queens, they managed to take their one defensive round and suddenly they're back in it 3 rounds later.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how this turns out. We're still waiting for the 5th player of Kitten Queens to return. And until then,
I mean, that was also a very I was just gonna say
according,
this is a very unfortunate timing for the Wi-Fi to drop, according to what we're seeing in the in-game chat. You do absolutely hate to see it. Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
no, you're good. I was going to mention the exact same thing.
But either way, do you expect any specific bans going into this next round?
Great question. I mean, we have been seeing a lot of play on the side of Wildcard Queens of the Zero. We have been seeing a lot of play um of the Ash, of the Ying recently. So I assume we might be seeing a